Joey, I do want to ask you this. I respect your voice. I respect so much that I probably haven't even told you. Of course, I and everybody else you run into in your world tells you how much they respect what you've done for this country. But there's something else I respect about you, and it is your dedication to being thoughtful and measured. Probably more than me on many occasions. I've sat with you on the couch, and I've let her rip in some ways where I've watched you be much more thoughtful and measured. And I sit here today and I go, and I know nothing else than to just be real. I just don't have another North Star. I just don't have it. It's the only one I've ever come back to. And so to be real, I'm so mad, Joey. And I mean, there's parts of me that want to let it rip and say, you want this, you got this. And, who am I talking to? I don't even know who I'm talking to, And yet I see the celebration, and then I'm like, I know exactly who I'm talking to. I see the celebration of Charlie's murder, and I know exactly what I want to happen. And I don't want to even say these things out loud, right? And then I try to be the better person inside. And I think, as I said earlier, like the saving grace for these people, the saving grace for this country, I truly believe this, Joey, and I think you're on your own path and your own journey here, is God. Because the thing holding good people back from doing bad things is God. That's what's happening. Trust me. And I don't know how well that dam holds. And I don't know what comes. I literally don't know. Darkness suggests evil. When I say that the future is dark, for me right now, it's a mystery. I can't see down the hallway. I don't know what's next for America.
I don't know what's next for America. I know that if I get to have any type of effect on that, it's something my dad would say, mind the wake you leave. Your boat's out on the lake, you're leaving a wake behind you. Every time I go on TV, I think about that. What kind of wake am I leaving? And how am I affecting the people that are listening, that are struggling with their emotions? Charlie is the latest of a list of men better than me that I've been associated with or called a friend that died fighting for something. The difference is most of the others were on a battlefield, and it made enough sense to know we went to war. And at some point, we went to war so shit like this doesn't happen at home. That was the point of it all. And so Charlie hurts a lot worse because this is the home we fought to protect. This is the home that my buddies died to protect. But when all of them died, in the 60s, they would spit on soldiers. And when my buddies were buried in Arlington, the Westboro Baptist Church was out there protesting, saying evil things about them. And the moment of truth is, what do you do in that moment? How do you react? What do you say to these kids that were celebrating because Charlie was killed? Um, what I have to remind myself is that if I can't love them too, then what was it all for? I didn't, what was it all for? Why did my buddies die? Why did I lose my legs? If not, so that other people could find redemption and other people could find their way back. Um, the truth is, I don't think today's youth respect death at all. There's a book called On Killing that talks about that. I don't think these college kids understand even death the way that some of us have been forced to, and the way that not unlike yourself. And we all have a story. I know you as well as anybody. We understand death in ways we shouldn't have to. I don't know that all these kids do. So there's still time. If I get hateful and vengeful and I let those emotions that exist in me control my mouth, then I leave no room. I back myself into my own corner. I leave no room to forgive them one day or to like them one day or to listen to them when they found a light. I go to a small church here in Calhoun, Georgia, and every week somebody goes in and says, you know what, I've fought against it too long. I need to give in and let God take the reins. And I don't know what sins they've committed before they did that. But now it's my job to love them as a member of my church. And this isn't just about faith, it's about humanity as well. And for people like yourself and myself, those things are intertwined, but not for everyone. And I respect that. As a human being, I have to believe that these people have a path out of it. And I might get to be, like Charlie, one of the people that's words bring them there. I mean, think about it. Had Charlie done exactly what he did in a more flame throwing way, he wouldn't have brought near as many people to the movement, but he might have galvanized the ones he did. And that wasn't his technique. That wasn't what he wanted to do. He had thoughtful and respectful conversation with everybody that stood in front of him. And if he could do that, if he could sit there and look at people that hated him in the face and at least keep a modicum of respect for them as to not insult them, who the hell am I to want to claim vengeance for his death? How does that honor his legacy? I don't think it does. Doesn't honor my buddies either. And that's how I find myself where I do sometimes. I also get real mad and fiery like everybody else because we're all human. But in these situations, I find that the most important thing to me is to honor what Charlie stood for. And I think that's what we do when we take a step back, we take a breath, and we focus on honoring his legacy, promoting his message, not pointing fingers and condemning those that don't understand life and death enough to know what their post might actually mean.
I'm so glad I asked you that question because he couldn't have said anything better. That was full of absolute wisdom. I'm grateful for our friendship, buddy, and I'm grateful for the time that you've given me here today.